Okay, so I know I just recently made a video on the legendary Pokemon I would personally like to see in Generation 8, but ever since Pokemon Sword and Shield were announced and the region origin has been revealed, new designs and ideas have been surfacing all over the internet. So much so that I felt like I just had to do a follow-up video about the legendary Pokemon. And hey, legendary Pokemon are pretty damn cool, so who wouldn't want to see some more awesome concepts? And if you think differently, you should f***ing die. So with that, welcome to the top 5 new legendary Pokemon for Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. For this list, I have rated these Pokemon based on design, but I will also go into detail on possible stats and moves for the Pokemon. Speaking of which, I do not own any of these awesome Fakemon designs. All the creators will be credited in the description as well as in the video.
If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And with that being said, let's get started.
So I feel to start off this list, we definitely had to include a potential Pokemon from the lore of the region Galar is based on. The UK definitely has plenty of different creatures to choose from their folktales, however, one that stood out to me the most has to be the Black Dog. The Black Dog is a creature often associated with the devil and is thought to be a ghost or hellhound type. These creatures are sinister and very evil and are commonly viewed as omens that bring about death. Interestingly enough, they are sometimes associated with electrical storms, as people have reported their appearances during them. So with all of that in mind, I think this design made by Darkandwindie captures the essence of the Black Dog pretty damn well. The glowing eyes, the black fur, and the wispiness of its body really sells the idea of it being a ghostly hellhound. Now for its typing, I definitely think it being a ghost dark type makes the most sense as well, because it's a ghost. And for dark, it is technically the evil type, and this thing is pretty damn evil. I mean, I wouldn't call it nice. So it's all pretty straightforward. However, because of that electrical storm association, I feel it's necessary to give it something electric related. At first I thought maybe just giving it access to electric type moves was good enough, but why stop there when it can actually have an ability similar to Steelworker that also makes those electric moves as powerful as its regular stab moves. Now moving on to stats, I can definitely see this thing being part of a trio, but not the box legendary trio. So therefore, we will be putting its base stat total at 580. As for its distributions, I can see this Pokemon being a fast mixed attacker, meaning it'll also be a tad bit frail too. And finally, to go along with these stats, it could get access to some solid moves like Shadow Ball for its special ghost move, Shadow Sneak for its physical, Crunch for a dark stab, and finally to take advantage of that new ability, let's give it Discharge for a solid, reliable electric type move. In total, I think this is a great idea, and the fact that it ties back into the actual region Galar is based on gives this concept extra points for me. Game Freak, let's make it happen. I have to say, an animal that I am really surprised to have not seen get a Pokemon adaptation has to be the peacock. I mean, there's so many routes you can take when creating one, whether it be a flying psychic type, a grass flying type, fairy psychic, or even fairy flying. And if we're going to bring this majestic creature into the Pokemon franchise, why not do it in the best way possible? And I think this design made by the very talented Devildman would be an amazing idea for a Peacock Legendary. I really just love the coloring of this Pokemon. It really goes along well with the majestic style the artist was going for. For typing, I think the coloring of this Pokemon gives away that it is in fact going to be a fairy flying type, which for sure is a very good typing. Stat-wise, I can see this Pokemon not being the best defensively because it kind of does look a bit frail, but speed and special attack should be its bread and butter. And even though it may not specialize in the defensive area, it's a legendary Pokemon, so it's gonna have some decent bulk on it. As for moves, I can see this Pokemon learning Moonblast, Recover, Air Slash, Psyshock, Shadow Ball, and even though it is an exclusive move to Lugia, I'd love to see this Pokemon get Aeroblast. Overall, even though peacocks have nothing to do with the UK, I honestly would just love to see a peacock appear somewhere in the Pokemon franchise, so why not now? Now, if we discount Silvally and Arceus, a typing that I am very surprised hasn't gotten a legendary Pokemon adaptation is the bug typing. And before you comment, Genesect, he doesn't actually count because it's a mythical. But I mean, the bug typing has been around since Pokemon's conception, and after over 20 years now, we still haven't gotten one legendary bug Pokemon? Well, today, that's about to change, thanks to this amazing design made by Devious Pixel, where Tombra, as it's called, is actually based on the same moth that I used in my Alola Forms video, so I do have some experience with the Black Witch moth. It's got a cool background, being essentially a foreshadowing of death for someone, which can be a great basis of origin for a legendary. For typing, obviously, since it has that death background, having this Pokemon being a bug ghost type makes the most sense here. As for stats, I'd like to see this Pokemon be a very fast special attacker with pretty decent to good defenses and HP. To complement these stats, moves like Bug Buzz, Shadow Ball, Psychic, and Will-O-Wisp would work very well for this Pokemon. Again, like I said in the last entry, this concept doesn't really have much to do with the UK, but with a design like this, how can I not include Tombra on this list? You really can't. Coming back to origins relevant to the Galar region though, at the number 2 spot will be another Pokemon based around the lore from the UK. This one being the Red Squirrel. Now, before you question whether or not a tiny critter can be a legendary or not, think about the Lake Guardians, Cosmog, or even Cosmoem. Now, while at first glance it may not seem it, the Red Squirrel actually has quite an important role in Norse mythology. Ratatoskar is a mischievous squirrel that travels up the Yggdrasil, which essentially is the Tree of Life, to deliver messages between the eagle on top of the tree and Nidhogg, the serpent below. Obviously, those three concepts in Norse mythology find their way into the Pokemon world in the form of the Aura Trio, being Yveltal, Xerneas, and Zygarde. My boy Mystic actually talked about this very concept recently, but instead as a possible regional variant, and while I definitely find that possibility cool, I really believe that the lore behind it makes it worthy of being a legendary Pokemon. I mean, Ratatoskar plays an important role in the fights that break out between the eagle and the serpent, so this Pokemon should definitely have an important role that would directly tie into the main legendary trio of Kalos. All of this would fit together very nicely and could lead to the possibility of the Kalos region playing an important role in the upcoming games, whether it be through the story or even a potential post-game quest. Now, I think this design made by Smiley really captures what I described here. So for typing, I was thinking dark and grass. Dark because the biggest part of its lore describes it as being mischievous, telling lies about the eagle and serpent in order to get them to fight. Now, you could argue that the fairy typing might be a better fit for that. However, some theories as to why Ratatoskar would do this is to get the serpent and eagle to destroy the Yggdrasil, which is certainly more evil than the goofs and gaffs most fairy types participate in. Now, the partial grass typing simply comes from it being a woodland creature, spending its days running up and down and living inside of a tree, and even gnawing on it. That just screams grass typing to me. Now, for stats, I think because it's a smaller and less important legendary to the Galar region specifically, 580 would make sense once again. Based on its duties, I think it makes makes sense for it to be a fast physical attacker, with its defenses and health being pretty solid as well. And as for moves, we could have a new dark type move called Gnaw, which would do less damage than Crunch, but allows you to heal a decent amount of HP. And to go along with that, we could also give it moves like Knock Off, Seed Bomb, and Wood Hammer. And even though the likes of Nasty Plot wouldn't really make sense in terms of battle, it would be very fitting to have simply because of its lore. So while this Pokemon may not look the strongest or most badass out of some of the legendary Pokemon on this list, I think based on idea alone, this Pokemon is more than worthy of being a part of this list. And finally, coming in at the number 1 spot, we had to include a Pokemon that is based on a wolf. I mean, the freaking logo of the games has a wolf on it, so you kind of have to assume that this animal is going to play a part in the games. And if I had to put my money on it, I would say that the wolf would be a legendary Pokemon. And I think this design made by Startboii, if it were to be a real Pokemon, would instantly make me want to buy the version of the game this Pokemon is exclusive to. There's not really much to say here, it's just a really badass wolf design. But if I had to pick my favorite thing about this Pokemon though, it would have to be its eyes. The pattern on it just really goes well with the rest of the colors. For typing, Startboii has this Pokemon listed as a Ghost Dark type, which to me works perfectly fine. Stat-wise, I can see this Pokemon just being very good all around. No real standout stats, but at the same time just looking very versatile. And for moves, there definitely needs to be an exclusive move here, so let me know your thoughts in the comments and I'll give you a shout out in the next video. You can also give it Crunch, Knock Off, Dark Pulse, Shadow Ball, Shadow Sneak, literally whatever you want since it's going to be a mixed attacker. Now you may think that putting this Pokemon at the number 1 spot is a bit uncreative compared to the others that showed up on this list, and well, yeah, you're right. But, sometimes having a design that just looks badass is more than enough for me to love it the most, and for that, this Pokemon has to come in at the number 1 spot.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments section below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and become an Eryizo today.
If you want to check out the previous video I did, be sure to click the annotation on the left. And if you guys want to see some more Pokemon Sword and Shield videos, click the other annotation on the right. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time.